Right. So if you'd like to just introduce yourself and kind of walk us through, I think Brown's bringing up some slides.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
If my computer will work, they'll come up.
While he's bringing those up, I'm Stephanie Allison. I'm a local artist. I've worn many hats in the city around here, but that's what I do now. I volunteer and work down at Finger Lakes Treasure Trove, the nonprofit on Main Street as well, just trying to better our community through wherever I can. Other than that, I'm a mom, and I love it, and I'll pass it on to you.
My name is Courtney Austin. I was raised here in Canandaigua, a Canandaigua alum. I went to study fine arts and arts and education, and finally achieved my lifelong dream of becoming an educator at Canandaigua City School District, and was very blessed to receive the position as the art educator at the elementary building. This is my 25th year painting murals, because that was initiated with me in middle school with my middle school art teacher when I attended Canandaigua. And we're here to talk about a mural project today that we have in mind for our local park at Jefferson.
Yes, and that's also how we met, was she is my son's teacher. And we kept passing like two ships.
Yes.
But she is an amazing teacher, educator, and really excited to go forward on this project.
Yes.
If you want to take it away, my friend, you start.
All right. Let's see. So.
Oh, I took control. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. So we have named our program Paints and Rec. Steph's son actually came up with the name for us because we were really struggling with it. So props to him. So it's no secret that murals make our communities beautiful. They add color to building walls that would otherwise go unnoticed, which is a treat for locals and visitors alike. Some cities even offer walking and biking public art tours, and that's a great way to interact with our local city. And this process allows for expression without words and creates opportunities for coping and ways for managing feelings and thoughts with our youth. Being able to rely on a tool like art to process what our youth are feeling is valuable for mental health and a foundational part of emotional development. So our work differs from the individual art making process in that the foundation of our strong murals comes from the team building that occurs with our youth while we do this process. So it has been a goal of ours to further the power of this art form within our community, bring more of it. So research shows that empowering our youth by creating art within their communities can significantly reduce vandalism, create unity, and then also inspire the pride to take care of their environment.
All right, we got some insight from local teen skaters, which was pretty neat. Basically, the youth here, they want to teach and encourage our youngest citizens, but they feel with all the graffiti that's currently on the park and the condition it's in, it's inappropriate to have them there in the current state that the park is in. We want a fun look for all ages. And hearing that the city of Canandaigua cares about Jefferson is amazing. We want to see color, we want to see fun, we want to see excitement. We want to bring new people here to skate, because having these in towns, it's off the charts. Giving the park a fresh new look will bring more people to the park, and we can't have the ramps and certain things be too overstimulating. From a skater's perspective, it can be disorienting in action, but having those fun details on the sides of the ramps and the building, it's going to change the potential for this park and really how our community sees it.
So our building concept was designed after directly speaking with the skaters who utilize the park, and it was inspired by them. So our concept is bright, fun, playful, while also being easy to maintain long term. Having silhouettes of children painted on the building displays the fun that is had at Jefferson.
I just had a quick question on this, if I may, Tom.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So and I know as we go through the slides, we'll see that the rest of the slides have a lot of color, but the front face of the part of the building that is facing the street lacking that. Was a reason for that in your design?
Yes, there is, and we'll go over that at the end, or we can share it with you now if you'd like.
I won't interrupt you. You're going to cover it. You can cover it.
Love the excitement. All right, so we decided to make the children solid silhouettes instead of portraits for several reasons. One of the big reasons is while you're painting on brick, which is what that building is, the grooves can get distorted if you're painting a detailed portrait on there. Also, doing silhouettes will make it easier to maintain long term to keep the building, fresh looking every summer. And also, everyone will be able to see themselves within that imagery. So the characters painted along the bottom are an infusion of fine arts and the graffiti character style. We drew inspiration from skate parks around the world. Graffiti-style characters are a loved and generationally accepted form of expression in this setting. The incorporation of design will continue a visual flow from the building to the skate park that entices the imagination while being aesthetically pleasing. Historically, skaters took inspiration from this style of art and designed their skateboards with graffiti art to create a skateboard that's an extension of themselves. This design is also playful and appropriate for all ages. The skyline displayed throughout the mural is based on the buildings on Main Street in Canandaigua, so it gives a little touch of the history of our beautiful city to its viewers.
All right, so going into the skate park concepts. It's playful, it's bright, and the buildings, what's on the building is going to continue into the skate park in very intentional areas, as I said before, without overstimulation. The design is meant to be fun while meeting the needs of the skaters. Patches will be left, as you can see in the design. They're going to be left without detail where the skaters land. That's a big thing for safety. You've got to have the grip. Wheels hit paint in certain spots. Wheels come out from under you. No good. So it will also give the sustainability long term for the park. It's going to be the easiest to maintain when painting on vertical surfaces versus horizontal. Longevity far exceeds. As you can see in design, it's got a lot of fun, bright things going on, incorporating what the kids do at the park alongside with some American Sign Language. Simple things thrown in to have that inclusion without it being so in your face, but you're learning without realizing you're learning. And just to incorporate things like the sign for play. So you have a deaf child run up on you, you play, little things. Not in your face, but those are the things you remember, especially as a youth. Small details that you picked up, you saw on a wall, you read it in a book. The barrier walls are going to have a less stimulating black background facing the parking area, and then it's going to be more of that fun graffiti style characterization on the back. And also there is, as you'll see, we're going to include different areas of the park here. We're going to have the benches. We're going to be doing the lamp posts. We're going to be doing the picnic tables. We're going to be doing everything. And we will be washing and prepping this at the same time as well. So there's going to be a lot of work that goes in ahead of time before the kids even see it. Sorry if I mixed you up. The border of the skate park as well is going to be an ombre pattern, is what we're going for, just in blues to whites to grays. At the end, we thought it'd be really neat to have the kids use their handprints, signatures along the edge, and just having that touch of color along the border gives a nice little pop without being slippery or anything they have to worry about. Based on design, I researched everywhere from Sweden to Japan and back and forth. My husband was a skateboarder growing up. I grew up in skate parks, hanging out with these kids, watching them because my niece wouldn't let me join in. So it's really going to be neat to just see it clean, fresh, and vibrant, if nothing else. We also have some inclusive games ideas for some of the picnic tables. We have a chessboard, checkerboard, tic-tac-toe, things like that. We figure we can have little things out for stones for kids to play tic-tac-toe just hooked on the side of the table, and we want to add a lot of little details. I think that's about it for the park.
Yep. So if we have rainy days, we always want to have a backup plan because clearly we're going to be outside with dozens of kids. So if we have that inclement weather, we plan to paint indoors. One of the ideas that we had was possibly doing painted rocks and spreading those throughout the park. A lot of our students are very big fans of the hashtag Canandaigua Rocks page on Facebook and online, so they get very into that. Also, another idea we had was possibly having the students decorate different tiling, and then that could be installed sparingly throughout the inside of the building so that it's not too overstimulating and still makes the space neutral for any other upcoming type of events people might want to potentially book the building for in the future. And then another idea we had was also to do installation pieces. So our students are really great at problem solving, and so if it rains, we could do paintings that we could donate to local establishments around town. They had mentioned Wood Library, possibly nursing homes, local restaurants, things of that nature, to still put their art out there, but keep them busy while we are dealing with downpours, which will inevitably, I'm sure, happen.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely going to happen. Eventually, at some point, we will have a day where we do some fun pieces, but these kids are amazing. We have 34 slots left out of 144 slots, so we have a huge interest in this, and looking at a lot of the kids who have signed up, we know a lot of these kids, and man, it's going to be a great summer.
A lot of these kids are who want to go on to college for
the
art.
talent,
So, yeah.
overwhelming, really. Just to nurture this at such a young age is so important for a community. I grew up in Penn Yan, and our art room at one time wound up being alongside the math and this and that, and we did as much as we could, and I'm glad to see Yates is encouraging and growing there, and I love to see what Ontario is doing. Just bringing that vibrancy and that expression to our community, getting kids into Jefferson Park. The stigma, we have no words used for certain areas, and it's not acceptable. We want, a skate park to be a skate park. That's where you meet your friends after school. Kids on bikes, not on smartphones. Little things like this could be really amazing to see what happens. Another cool idea we had was for the grand reveal. At the end of this, we wanted to plant flowers with all the kids and have them each plant a flower as it's a symbol of growth, rebirth.
And that was the main reason we left the mural a little darker in the front, so the attention would go to the flowers that the kids kind of plant at the bottom of their symbolism of being a part of this project.
Yeah. Now, understanding that may involve some landscaping, crocks are also an option. There's so many things that can be done, or hanging planters, just something to basically give that pop color that really isn't there now on the grounds itself. Since we're doing so much planning-wise for the building, the skate park, everything around it, why not add a little extra?
Yeah. We had also discussed on the last slide adding pathways to the building. It's just the lawn there right now, so we were hoping that maybe that would make it more inviting, and in the future it could be a place for events like birthday parties or little get-togethers, showers, things of that nature, where the community will want to come and utilize that space a lot more.
Great. So,
I think that's about it, and then basically just open to questions.
Yeah.
so any questions from the committee to start with?
Yeah, just a
Okay,
comment.
go ahead.
First of all, thank you very much for the time and effort you put into this. Just getting the skate park took us years. So, and you made comment about the fact that it's well used. I get down there occasionally, not to skateboard, but and I always run into people who are up here from Naples or people who are from over in Wayne County who come over to use this skate park.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, it was kind of funny when we spoke to some of the skaters. They said, "Oh, you're painting here, and we were redoing it, and if we keep it in nice shape, do you think they'll make it bigger?"
Yeah.
well, we've talked about that.
Yeah, that was one thing growing up in Penn Yan, being such a small town. I remember the day the guys got a half pipe, and it was Christmas every day
Yeah.
for that whole summer. Just having it there, they do skate tours is a big thing too. There are huge organizations that go around and try to fund skate
Tony
parks.
Hawk.
you got it. Everybody knows Tony
Yes.
Hawk from video games and back and forth.
Right.
But just knowing, like, as my husband used to enjoy, and maybe some of these older guys will get out there and get some braces on and get back on the boards. But just to see, he used to go from Watkins Glen, Canandaigua, Rochester, everywhere they could, and out of state, just for a little tour, just something different. So
Right.
if we could draw some more interest into the town, fantastic.
I know when I was a teenager, I worked at the Salvation Phoenix program over the summer as a camp counselor. It was one of my first jobs after babysitting, and we utilized Jefferson a lot at that time. So
Right.
hopefully bringing some color and some life back to that space is just going to be beneficial for all ages, skaters, kids, families, everyone in the area.
And Jefferson is our memorial park. It's our Veterans Memorial Park, which most people don't realize.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
think it's
again,
really
thank you
underutilized.
for the time
at
and
the
effort.
moment.
So I think this is just great.
It is.
Just out of curiosity, what year did you graduate in Canandaigua?
With David and Mary. And
know
Mrs.
Mary,
Palomini was my middle school principal.
I
Hi.
With
Yeah.
Dave?
I'm so
I used to play at your house when I was little. That's why I look familiar. And Karen's.
It's
Sorry.
a small world.
I did theater with Karen's younger son, Tommy, too. So, yes. I've been around a long time.
No, you don't look that way to me, but because when you've been around for a long time, nobody else looks like they've been around for a long time.
Tell me about it.
I'm really impressed with the planning and the detail and the vision, and thank you for bringing that to our kids here in Canandaigua.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving
Thank
us
you.
this opportunity. And
Absolutely.
We, spoke with the city a little bit about this, and we are more than happy to upkeep this each year. We're very optimistic that the space will hopefully stay beautiful, but if anything pops up, we're both local artists who are at the ready to help out wherever needed.
Where's the funding coming from?
You know, I was just about to address that because Alan just asked me that. So when she approached us about, hey, where can we paint a mural and how can we work together? And we identified Jefferson as a park that could use some TLC and some investment and try to get people there so that they can realize that it shouldn't be stigmatized as it is. We talk about creating a recreation program. So when these kids sign up, they pay a fee. Part of that fee pays for these ladies' time, and all the rest of it goes towards paying for the cost of the paint and materials. So that's what we have planned to do, and we've got just a couple of spots open, as they mentioned. So
Yeah.
it's been successful.
We spoke with someone from the city, and they said they did a camp there last summer, and only 4 students attended.
Yeah. So yeah,
Because of the
we've
schedule
tried
of the
to.
area. So the fact that we already have over 100 in 2 weeks, I think
You
speaks
need
to
more
the fact
artists.
of
Yeah.
how much these kids want to beautify their city and be a part of that process.
Yeah, we've tried to do day camps there in the past, and the interest has been zero. So, and that's unfortunate. So we want to try to do something to invest in this neighborhood and this park.
Karen, you've been waiting patiently.
So I love the idea, and I love your enthusiasm, and I love your attention to the safety details of where you're going to paint. And I want to talk about this slide.
Sure.
And maybe step out of my lane.
Go for
But
it.
I find something about the red sky
Okay.
disturbing.
Okay. We can go with more blues and purples and yellows in there.
Is it to be sunset?
Yes.
Yes, it's in the ombre. It's all just a concept.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
please give any feedback.
Yeah, we're very
So,
flexible.
Yeah.
That's my feedback.
We actually discussed a teal or a blue to tie around from the other side, just for that neutrality. Blue is very calming, but we didn't want too much blue.
Right.
Just so it's all too blocky.
And some
you
of
know?
the other slides you showed were pictures of the park in the day.
Yes.
And I find that a little more uplifting. But there was something disturbing about I don't know that the black walls are distinctive enough to a cityscape, and then I just had to say that.
That's
and,
okay.
and the other thing is the flower idea. I think they should be painted right on the wall.
You know,
The
that's
way the slide with the flowers on it looks amazing.
Yes, actually an idea I had this morning that I haven't talked to you about
Yeah,
yet.
they should be
As I
painted
was
right on there,
looking
very
through
bold.
These slides, we have so many different styles
I know.
between us, which is amazing.
Well, that's my
And
2 cents.
kind of working it down to we're working with third graders through age 19. Most of the kids who have signed up are elementary age, so we can't go too crazy with things, but that lower area is going to be a fun section that we definitely could do some daisies popped, some
Yeah,
tulips.
just
little
like that,
things. And they're
big,
there in the
bold
winter too.
flowers.
And that's one thing in a very dark, dreary area for a few months.
Thank you for letting me have my say.
No, absolutely. We appreciate you doing that, for sure.
Karen, you're not stepping out of your lane because the main reason why we asked them to come here is so that you could approve this design. This is this is a city facility. It's our park. It's our building that's getting painted, and we don't want it to. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If you thought it was ugly, and say, "Hey, start over," we need to discuss that.
We're thick-skinned artists. We can go.
We definitely
I wasn't making a comment of that. I was just trying to.
Thank you.
If it makes you feel any better, these are not our first drafts.
I've got a folder of different ones, and I started doing the ground, and my husband walked up and went, not to throw a monkey wrench in, but, and I just
You're gonna get
walked
a lot of
outside
bullets.
for a minute and came back, and, next.
I think we did that is extremely, in my opinion, powerful is the fact that you made the silhouettes blink.
I like that a lot.
That everyone can see themselves
Yeah.
in the city of Canandaigua. I think that's very important from a perspective of diversity,
Huge.
equity, and inclusion. And the fact that this is an opportunity for the youth to actually start thinking. So a person may say, well, why does they make it blank, right?
Yeah.
I think that the answer to that question can open the door to some rich conversation. So I think that's great.
Yeah, even it just making you ask the question in the first place.
Absolutely.
Is huge. And
it's important to note that it's an opportunity to have a conversation about diversity in a non-threatening format.
exactly.
Absolutely. And that was why I had brought up to the city about doing the grand reveal at the end, because then not only the students come, but their families come. We're drawing in more of our community, even more so, to do an event such as that, and to open their eyes and see the new space and see that we are in a safe, loving environment, and that those stigmas are not there.
Be them of the past. This is to be fresh and new and exciting.
Absolutely.
So as John kind of mentioned, I guess we are looking to approve this design and bring it forward to council if that is amenable to the
I
committee.
would move that we approve the design.
All right. Is there a second to that?
I'd be proud to second that.
All right, very good. In that case, all those in favor of moving this to full council? All right, very good. Well, thank you. This is
you.
great design. Look forward to it.
We
Very
really,
excited.
we really appreciate the opportunity, if nothing else. It's exciting for the youth of our.
The kids are over the moon.
It's-
They really are. They feel like
It's
rock
amazing.
stars.
It's amazing. They've already started countdown, so this
Yeah.
is about them.
I had a
It's
student
not
come
about us.
into my classroom this morning and say, "Look, Mrs. Austin, I've been sketching in my sketchbook to practice for summer. I'm getting ready." So they're
It's-
very
it's-
excited.
And the cool part is we have other city facilities, so we can do this next summer too.
Oh,
Summer
yes,
after that.
absolutely.
They are willing and ready to go. Last summer they
pretty
did
open.
Cheshire Fire Hall Station 2. They finished a 75-foot long mural in 2 weeks.
Well,
So,
Absolutely.
and they were on the news for that, and their smiles when they were interviewed, and someone
but
from the
they-
governor's office came and
they had the ladder
presented them with
truck out
little
there.
awards, and yeah, it was just, they were beaming.
To take pride in what you do and be able to show your friends and your family and take your friends there to play even is going to be amazing because they can't go to the fire hall every day and be like, can we just see that? You know? So this is another thing they're excited to be able to show it off at
Mary's
the
coming over tomorrow with her new baby. If you want to come over and play, you're welcome.
Right.
I follow her on Facebook, they're so cute.
Well,
I met her working at the bowling alley, I think it was, way back in the day. She's sweet.
well,
Okay.
I hate to be a downer though, but we have to talk about license agreements and,
No
and things like
worries.
that. But
Thank you
we're
so
looking
much.
forward to hearing more about this
Absolutely.
as we move forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
And thank you. Let us know if you need anything at all from us.